Bainvabu, a brand new university learning experience in the heart of Mabu. The Gaelic Foundations program is a first-year university learning experience in partnership with Cape Breton University. Immerse yourself in community, delve into a rich and living culture, and learn about the world through the viewpoint of the Gaels as you begin your next learning journey. Classes begin September of 2023. Bainvabu, we welcome you to an educational experience like no other. For more information, click your way over to bainvabu.ca.
So these are the bagpipes, and to be more specific, the Great Highland bagpipes. There's a lot of different types of pipes in the world. Almost every region in Europe developed its own take on bagpipes. So these were what was developed in Scotland over centuries. One of the more recognizable pipes out there just because of their influence in the British Army. This is what you'll have seen in parades or at funerals and weddings. They're quite popular. And I'll give you a little overview of how they work. Basically, you have a blowpipe that you blow into with a one-way valve at the end. So you fill up this bag as a reservoir, and then you force the air out with this elbow. And your whole aim is to keep the stream as constant as possible and the pressure as constant as possible. When you're forcing the air out, you force them out through the other pipes. These pipes that are on my shoulder are called drones, and they just produce that one long monotone note that you hear throughout the melody. And the longer one is a bass drone, so that'll produce a B flat in this case for this instrument. And then the tenor drones will produce the same note, but an octave higher. Then the melody comes out of this pipe called the chanter. And there's a number of holes on there. And inside the casing here is what we call the reed. And it's a double-bladed cane reed, much the same as an oboe reed. It has two tongues of cane. As the air passes through it, it vibrates and produces sound. And like any other woodwind, there's a bunch of holes on it, and the longer the sound has to travel down the pipe, the deeper the note, the lower the note is. So there's 9 notes in the pipe scale, so it's a little limited in that sense, and it's also limited as an instrument because there's only one volume, fairly loud, and you can't get louder, you can't get quieter, it's just one volume all the time. So to introduce dynamics into the music, we use a lot of gracing and ornamentation, and also to separate notes because you can't stop the melody. Once you're started, it's always playing melody. So to separate the notes, you use a lot of those gracings, and that gracing and ornamentation is something that really identifies pipe music. And that ornamentation, you still see it in the fiddle music and the music we know around here and in Scotland. It's informed a lot of the stylings that we use and the ornamentation that we use on the fiddle or any instrument.
I'm Roz.
And I'm Jen of Super Duper Soup.
Began about 5 years ago. It started when one friend asked me to make a bowl of soup. We were both laid off, And the next week, more friends asked for more soup. And the next thing we know, bing bang boom, we're working out of the Boys and Girls Club kitchen once a week doing deliveries. Did a trade show and it just went crazy from there. So we were like, we need to find our own space.
We're a small business, and when you start a small business, not really ever having been in this industry before, we had no idea what was involved.
You don't know what you don't know. Dealing with the East Coast Credit Union, it's just been so easy.
They're more than a bank. It's not every bank that knows your name. It's not every bank that comes and helps and brings you products that you didn't even know existed.
Yeah, they know more than just our business. They know us and they know what we need. They're just a part of our team and they're there to help you. They want you to succeed.
They have a small business program and they get what small business is in Nova Scotia.
Community means everything. We feel very supported by not only the East Coast Credit Union, but our community in downtown Dartmouth as well. Building the relationship with East Coast Credit Union, I just know that going forward, they'll still be there for us. They'll continue to support us, not only as customers, but bringing us new products that will help us grow and continue to survive.
Falcha, welcome here to the Eldwick Arts Centre here in downtown Sydney. We're being joined by a number of students and faculty members here at the Nova Scotia Community College Marconi Music Arts Program campus. And it's a great spot, and I know that they're doing a lot of work in preparation for their new home just down the road. But I want to welcome those who watch every week here on our Wednesday night Ceilidh from Colbush and the Gaelic. And we're just finishing up the 3 months that we've been on the road a bit at different homes and different venues. And this is a great way to end it here with some of the faculty and students here who are doing great work for music programming here in Nova Scotia. So I encourage you to take a look and we'll get into more of the questions that I'm going to ask both Kimberly and Kyle and others about the program. But we're going to kick things off with some tunes from some familiar faces. We have, first of all, on piano, we have Kimberly Fraser. You often see her with her fiddle or on the keys, and she is a full-time faculty member here leading the program. And we have Kyle McDonald as well, again, no stranger to our Ceilidhs or to Colbush and the Gaelic. And Kyle is going to be jumping on some tunes, and he's one of the instructors here for the program. So, great having you guys.
Thanks for coming to see us.
No, it's great.
It's really great to have a visit.
It's great to be here.
Yeah.
And, the great thing about tonight is that everyone's going to see some traditional tunes, but they're going to see a lot of mix of different things from the students, because there's a lot of different creativity and a lot of different talents, and you're going to see some of that tonight. So we'll kick things off. Sound good? All right. Have a great night, folks.
Ready? Here we go.
Take it away.
Thank you very much, everybody, and hello to everybody at home. Welcome to our Ceilidh here at our music arts program in NSCC. We are at the Eltwick Arts Center. I think it's important too that I just say a few words quickly about our program and our students. So I just want to mention that we'll be playing with some traditional tunes here and accompaniment, but you'll learn more about the program as you continue watching. And what we're doing here, I think most successfully, is cultivating artists. So we're teaching music theory and music styles, but it's also a program where an artist can walk in and discover about their own art. So as we keep going, I guess I'll kind of think about that myself with the traditional music.
It's pretty representative of the Cape Breton music scene, I'd say, what we have here. So
Yeah.
we're traditional players. We get students in from all different backgrounds of music, and kind of reflects the diversity of the Cape Breton music scene, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, so without saying too much, I want to try to put the thought out there that if someone is a traditional musician and looking to better their skills on the fiddle or piano, this is a great place to come and do that. But if you hear jazz music later, or rock music, or any other musical styles, that's also what's welcomed here and what's happening here too. All right, we're gonna keep the tunes going. I hope I didn't try to say too much there, and
When
maybe
do you ever say too much?
I don't know, but we'll keep things going with a set of tunes here in the key of E and E minor. I'll start with a march and then head into a couple of Strasbass and reels. All right.
What are you throwing at me this time?
It's a march that, well, why don't I just play you a little section of it? All right, ready?
Go for it.
Well, it's also important not to take yourself too seriously when you're performing.
Great examples, playing through all those mistakes.
Lots of fun there for sure. And thanks for listening back home there too. I think we're moving on to another number. I'm going to invite Josh. Josh to step forward here a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll talk a little bit about it.
And I have to grab my fiddle, which I totally forgot to get ready. But in the maybe.
So you want to do that, and I'll tell people a little bit more about Josh.
Just tell about Josh. Grab my fiddle, and we're really happy to have this tune. So sometimes we have a Celtic ensemble here. And it's a great opportunity for people who don't know much about Celtic music to get to know some repertoire. Josh is from Germany, and so when he came to this program, he's kind of dipped his toes in Celtic music, which was really cool. And we did John Morris's The Last March. So you keep talking away.
Yeah, so before we get you to play, Josh, maybe we'll ask you to tell us a little bit about your coming to Canada and joining the program here.
Yeah, like around 6-7 years ago, I was an international student, and I lived in Sydney Mines for a little bit, and I went to Memorial High just for a year, and then after that I was back in Germany for a few years and just working, and then I came back because I heard about this music program, and a good friend of mine, he was already in here, and he made me aware of it. I signed up, and now I've been here for almost 2 years again.
That's great. So a good example of the international program in high school, working to expose you to Canada and offer education as an option to you, right?
Yep.
And this year and last year, you've been studying percussion, drums and percussion, and have taken huge steps, in my opinion, forward in jazz drumming.
Thank you.
But you have played piano for quite a few years. Is that correct?
A little longer than drumming. Drumming is fairly new to me, actually, but I'd say I'm also the piano player.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll welcome Kimberly in here, and I'm going to step aside and let you guys go to it.
Thank you.
Okay. Something around there. 2, 3, 4.
Beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
Beautiful stuff. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for letting me play.
Great music, and Kimberly, and to Kyle, and for the beautiful music. Maybe we'll take the opportunity to have a couple of questions.
Sure.
We're going to take the opportunity that will give the students some time to get set up, and I'll jump behind the piano. You can sit on the chair there. That works.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah. I'll pretend I can play the piano.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, that was absolutely gorgeous with Josh there and yourself, and I can't help but think, Jamor's is a third cousin of my own, and so a lot of us at Mabu, of course, have relations distantly and a lot of family, and he would often their house, the Rankin family house, when they were growing up, was right beside the Mabu Hall. And there used to be windows at the back of the stage years ago, and then they took them away, and now they put a couple back. But years ago, those windows would be there, and of course they'd be open. And Jamor would be leaning out his window, listening to my grandfather Don Angus play for dances there, and my uncle Joey Beaton and my grandmother and others. But so there was a very close relationship, neighbors, and. So, when my grandfather passed, the fiddle that Jamor's played was one of my grandfather's fiddles.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and a few years ago, Molly, his daughter, actually gave it back to Kinnan probably about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and landed with it one day and said, "This fiddle's coming back." So it went full circle. But the fiddle that you saw touring around with the Rankins was Don Angus Beaton fiddle.
Wow.
So a couple of things I wanted to just, I guess, get a sense and a better feel for the program, and you're full-time faculty here. I guess just I think you sort of had your hand in helping create this program in some ways, I guess. Is that safe to say?
I don't know if I can take any credit for that, but so this music arts program has been at the Albany campus in Dartmouth for probably at least 15 years, probably a little more than that. So this is a similar program, but the beauty of the program is that there's a little bit of flexibility built in terms of the types of ensembles that we can offer, and we do, in terms of the strengths of the faculty and the students, we can gear a little bit towards that. So it's a 2-year diploma program. So when you graduate with a diploma in music arts, and we have a number of articulation agreements too with St. FX, Dalhousie, CBU. So potentially a student after graduating can place into perhaps third year of those music programs.
Okay.
So that's a
potential. So there is the potential there to move the courses right into the degree program.
Yeah. So we kind of like to think of it as a threefold program where you do have to audition to come in. So we kind of like to think of a benchmark. If you're ready to play with a band, that's a good place to be to come in. So it's a threefold program where you're building your musicianship skills. So classes in music theory, ear training, ensemble, and basic piano keyboarding skills. And then the other side of it is...
So would every student take some basic keyboarding?
Every student takes basic keyboarding. So by the end of the keyboarding course, you should be able to play some Autumn Leaves by the time that we end. So that's first year. And then we have courses to support skills in music business and skills in music technology. So some aspect of recording.
So in the second year, does it become more focused in a particular area? For instance, if you're more interested in the business side, or is it just the students, all the students in the first year take same programming in the second year as well? Is that sort of the way?
No, they kind of move through together. But the courses, for the most part, the courses kind of build. So there's second year theory, second year ear training, second year business, second year technology. So in the technology courses, we learn how to use digital notation software. So we use a program called Ceilidh, so to make a professional looking score. The way you can think about it as well, if you're a songwriter, you know, in your music theory class, you learn about arranging and basic theory skills to help support your songwriting, your composition skills, arranging skills. Your keyboarding class supports that as well. The technology side of things, you learn how to demo your song. And you learn how to make it professional in terms of the way it looks on a score with a program called Ceilidh. And then you learn how to market that tune, get it to market, make some money from it. So it's a threefold program in that respect. So the program is really meant for somebody who is serious about building a career in music.
Yeah. Well, I encourage everyone to take a look at the NSCC website, take a look at the program. If you're a young student, if you have an interest in music, there's lots of different opportunities out there in the university sector and in the college sector, of course. And of course, even with us at College of the Gaelic, you can take short programs or with our new foundation year program coming up this September. And we have a music and dance course that'll be added into that element.
That's really exciting.
And we have a partnership with NSCC as well. We have a memorandum of understanding between ourselves and NSCC, and so this is this makes sense what we're doing here today. I do want to have a little shout out, a couple of things just before we get the students to play. We're going back live next week on site at St. Anne's, so keep an eye out for the music for next week. And for those that are living in the local area, would love to have you come out, and we'll be getting back to our on-site Ceilidhs next week. A little shout out to the sponsors and also that support us and make these Ceilidhs happen. But also as well, if you'd like to make a donation to College of the Gaelic, the Gaelic College, the information will come up on the screen. Please do so. If you want to sponsor Ceilidh, would be more than happy to recognize you in that way for doing that. But it makes a difference. It enables us to keep the Ceilidhs going, the concerts. It enables us to promote programs for young people. And in order to have these great musicians, we need a feeder system, and we need young people having the opportunity to learn. We just had about 140, 150 students at March break. Great success, and I do want to acknowledge the Cape Breton Victoria board here for sponsoring a number of students. Okay. So we're in that school board here, and I want to acknowledge and a little shout out to them. So that's we'll get back to the talking later. We're going to move on to the students, and perhaps we want to introduce the students and who they are.
So students are going to say, I should say, some examples from their ensemble. I believe the first tune they're going to do is from their jazz ensemble. So what you guys are doing, correct? The tune is called So What? Rock ensemble. Oh, you're going to rock ensemble first? So we should say, so unable to be with us today is our other full-time faculty member, Steve Luxton. So he leads the rock ensemble. And Eddie Woodsworth teaches bass for us, but also leads the jazz ensemble. So maybe, Michael, do you want to introduce this tune?
All right. Well, this is Sissy Strut by the Meters.
I'm sorry. I don't meant to introduce the whole band. I'm sorry. The students know that I'm notorious for saying, oh, go ahead, wait. So this is a good example of that. This is Michael Young on the guitar from Troy, correct?
Yes.
And he's a guitar major. Carter Todd is a trumpet major here, and he's from Sydney.
Yep.
Nicholas Confiant is a guitar major. He's also from Sydney. Noah Rashore here is a vocal major. He's from Bridor, right? Yes. And back here on the bass, I don't know if you can see Michael Stapleton, bass major from New Waterford. And then we met Josh, but now we're going to feature him on his principal instrument on drums. Josh Frenger, something like that. And so we established Josh as he wins the prize for being the furthest away. So now, Michael, you can introduce your tune. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, this is Sissy Strut by the Meters and C Blues. All right. Tell us, Josh.
1, 2, 4. Next up, we got a jazz ensemble. We're just going to get a couple people to switch up, and then we're going to dive right into it. This Miles Davis song. Whoever's familiar with jazz standards or jazz music in general, definitely heard of Miles Davis before. And yeah, this song's called So What? And we're just going to wait till everyone's set up, and then we're going to dive right into it. All right, we're all ready.
Thanks, up.
So we're gonna go over here and have a little chat just before you move on to your next piece. Yeah, before we get Michael to do a song. Just want to follow up on a little bit about the program, and I know there's perhaps a work experience or peer opportunity, I guess they have?
Yeah, so with at NSCC, typically with most programs, there is a work experience component. So we're 3 semesters, we have a fall semester, a winter semester, and then we have a 5-week, technically called a capstone project, but we think of it as our work term. So we kind of create that as a group. So the cool thing about it is that not only are the faculty involved in creating that experience, our second years especially are involved in the planning of what's going to be our what we've had in the past, the Marconi Music Fest. So the first year we launched during COVID, we did it completely online, which was kind of a great experience in itself. Last year we were able to get out a little bit. This year we're looking forward to not having the COVID looming over our head in terms of planning. So we're really involved in the planning stage of this right now, where you'll see us all over, a lot over throughout CBRN. So places like the Old Triangle, Island Folk Cider House, other perhaps the Sandbar. We're looking at doing that. Perhaps in Glace Bay. I think it's in Glace Bay. Can't reveal too much. And the really cool thing about it is that you're bringing that experience from the classroom to that performance setting pretty much full time.
Nice.
And it's a real period of growth.
Great opportunity for the students to connect with others that are out there working in the industry.
Networking, for sure. Last year we were really fortunate. We collaborated with Jordan Musician. We collaborated with Heather Rankin, which was great. And we also collaborated with Buddy McDonald.
So all great musicians, and a lot of
Yeah.
people that we have connected to us in different ways as well.
Exactly. So we're looking forward to doing that as well this year.
So again, we're at the NSCC Marconi campus for the Music Arts Program downtown Sydney. And I know you'll be moving to a new home, I guess, in the next couple of years. That's exciting for the downtown waterfront of Sydney, and lots of exciting things happening these days between downtown Sydney here at NSCC, with lots of expansion plans at CBU, Cape Breton University. And we have our own expansion happening at the College of the Gaelic College at our new site at Bainvabu. I encourage students to take a look at our foundation year, first year university program, where you'll take things like literature for the Gael, history of the Gael, folklore, music and dance, and a Gaelic language course, and then you're right into your university program. You'll actually not only be a student with us, but also a Cape Breton University student as well. So I encourage students to take a look at that as well. And also to tune in to our cbfm.ca, our radio station online. Our manager, Ryan McDonald, and you'll often hear him on air, is behind the camera here today. And he is also a student that went to NSCC through the radio, television, and arts program in his first year there up at Dartmouth.
Excellent.
So there's an NSC student that was behind the camera, and we have another one on staff in our marketing and others that are connected to us as well. So that's our talking for now. We'll move on to a new song. Michael Young, is it?
Yeah, Michael's
From
gonna-
downtown Troy. Downtown Troy.
So we'll let him take it away. You can let us know what you're gonna do.
Check. All right, we're just gonna get the volume going here. Ooh. All right. We're all good? All right. Am I good?
Yes, you're good.
All right. Well, I'm Michael Young. This is by a little known band back from the 90s. I had to sneak some alternative in here somehow. And this is by Soundgarden. This one's called Black Hole Sun. In my eyes, indisposed, in disguise as no one knows, hides the face, lies dismay, and the sun in my disgrace, boiling heat, summer stench, bleed the black, the sky looks dead, call my name through the cream, and I'll hear you scream again. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come, won't you come? Stuttering, cold and damned, still the warm wind tired friend. Times are gone for honest men, sometimes far too long for snakes. In my shoes, walking sleeve, in my youth I prayed to keep heaven send hell away. No one seems like you anymore. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come, wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Won't you come? Hang my head, drown my fear, till you all just disappear. Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come, wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Thank you.
No, we're sure. We're seeing it. Would you want to write another? Our vocal major. Trade spots. So. So we mentioned before, this is Noah Rashore from Redora Vocal Major. What are you going to sing first?
I'm going to sing a little tragically hip number. Something called
Okay.
Fiddler's Green.
Okay.
September 17th, for a girl I know it's Mother's Day. The sun is gonna leave, and that's where he will stay. The wind on the weather vane, teary blue eyes sailing me. This Falstaff sings a song for refrain, for a boy at Fiddler's Green. This tiny knotted heart, well, I guess it never worked too good. Timber tore apart, and the water gorged the wood, and you can hear her whisper prayer. Midnight mass that always beats, same when it moves ahead, moves a boy through Fiddler's Green. Nothing's changed anyway. Nothing's changed anyway. Anytime today. Doesn't know a soul. There's nowhere that he's really been. But he won't travel on. No, not a Fiddler's Green. Balloons all filled with rain. Children's eyes turn sleepingly. Falstaff sings a song for a friend, for a boy Fiddler's Green.
Thank you.
So we're going to one last tune for the ensembles, and
So we have one more song from the ensemble, and I want to say a very special thank you to the students here who are doing a fantastic job. I'm looking forward to the next one, and to Kimberly, and as well as Kyle, and to Steve as well, Steve Luxon.
we've had many.
Yes, we've had one.
Ceilidhs?
Yeah, for sure. And actually, a little shout out because these are the types of great musicians that you. This is a different night tonight, first of all, and so for those that are regularly watching, they're very used to more, very traditional type of Ceilidh. So tonight is an opportunity to showcase these great students and some different genres of music as well. I do want to a little advertisement for Kitchen Fest, June 30th to July 8th. There's upwards to 100 shows. That list will be coming out very soon, but you're going to hear music in throughout Cape Breton Island and some of the venues over the years, whether it's downtown here and at the Old Triangle or at Governor's or at the Red Shoe Pub, or you mentioned the Sandbar. I can't remember, the Glace Bay or Reserve Mine.
I think it's Glace. It's a new.
It's a great
venue.
spot.
Yeah,
they
I've
were
heard
part
so
of
many great things about it.
our venue last year for Kitchen Fest. So please, if you're interested in Kitchen Fest, in the next few weeks, by the end of towards later in April, you're going to see that list coming out, and we're looking forward to a great time. June 30th to July 8th.
Great kickoff to the summer.
Great kickoff to the summer. Great opportunity to start making your plans now. There's music every night. Starts on a Friday night. We always have a great songwriters circle on the Thursday night of that week. But you at the Gaelic College, and lots of other opportunities for music. The Wednesday night Ceilidh, of course, is on that week. But you can hear music throughout the island. So what's next, Kim?
Yeah, we're gonna as a lost ensemble tune, we're gonna feature a country ensemble. We have a new face we haven't seen yet. So this is our other bass major, Brandon McGillivray. He's from Glace Bay. So we're happy to have him along on this tune. And one of our lead singers, maybe you can introduce the tune.
Sure.
And let you guys take it away. Yeah, check your levels.
Check one, check two, testing. All right.
Check two, check one, check.
The final number we have prepared for you today is a little country tune I'm sure everybody might be familiar with. It's a Johnny Cash original standard, if you will. Here's a little Folsom Prison. As soon as we get Mr. Frencher on drums here.
Everybody on.
I hear the train coming.
was fun.
Awesome. That was great.
Big thank you to all our ensembles for playing their tunes.
So we're moving around a little bit here. We appreciate, once again, a big shout out to NSCC, the Music Arts Program. I encourage folks to take a look online, check out the program. It's a great program for some up-and-coming great musicians. Not only up-and-coming great musicians, but people that find themselves working in the industry for a number of years that are looking for something different, something new, something to take their craft to the next level.
I should add to that, we have a mix of age level, which really adds to the diversity of the experience.
Yeah.
So having older adults, like you just said, maybe who have had a career in the past and maybe want to resurrect that again, it's a great opportunity, and we love that in the classroom. So we have got some folks just out of high school, but we've also had some older adults, and it is a really great classroom experience with the diversity of experience.
Definitely. Yeah, I know it's obviously a great program. The results speak for themselves, what the students are doing. And I've had the opportunity to come here last year and to talk to some of the students. And I saw people like Steve McIntyre is a good example. We're probably about the same age, Steve and I. And he was a great part of this program as well, and a great part of Kitchen Fest.
One small thing to add too, I just want to mention the instructors who are casual faculty, who are dedicating their time outside of other occupations to be a part of the program and instruct students. So if you were requesting an instrument that is outside of, say, the faculty's background, we are finding quality instructors for individual instruments for private lessons.
Great point. Yeah, and you mentioned Eddie Wordsworth, yourself, of course, Kyle.
Yes.
People like Eddie Wordsworth, who, Eddie is one of those folks that can, like yourself, one day, you're playing with traditional music, and that night you could be playing with a band.
Certainly.
And on the drums, or your brother on the bass, or your other brother on the piano or guitar, whatever it might be. How many brothers do you have anyway?
with Ed and I, we're involved. Ed is involved directly in ensembles, and I'm doing a bit of a rhythm workshop activity this year as well. But for the other instructors, as I mentioned, such as Leslie Ann Andrews, for example, who has a very large role in the Cape Breton Victoria Regional School Board under arts programming. She's one of our instructors this year for flute.
We have a flute major. Couldn't be here with us today, but
just wanted to. I know we're taking extra time, but I wanted to illustrate that if it kind of goes back to a point I made earlier about making the program your own, as opposed to trying to spend years reaching someone else's idea of what your development is. Someone can come in here with their own idea about their art, and with these casual instructors and our faculty, ensembles and everything,
Make it their own.
we're proud of it.
Yeah. Well, again, we're going to end off with a blast of tunes. We'll start off with a jig, Portree Bay, and we'll go into a Strathspey Bay and a couple of reels. We'll see you next week. I do know that Buddy McDonald is one of our guests next week, live at St. Anne's, and Buddy is no stranger to the music scene in and around Cape Breton and well beyond. So we're going to hear Buddy McDonald and others as well next week, live at St. Anne's, 7:30 to 9. And as always, we'll have it live streamed. A little shout out and a thanks to Ryan McDonald for, again, the live stream here tonight, and as well the folks and the musicians. So we'll get going on the tunes.
Sure.
All right. Bain Vabu, a brand new university learning experience in the heart of Mabu. The Gaelic Foundations program is a first-year university learning experience in partnership with Cape Breton University. Immerse yourself in community, delve into a rich and living culture, and learn about the world through the viewpoint of the Gaels as you begin your next learning journey. Classes begin September of 2023. Bain Vabu, we welcome you to an educational experience like no other. For more information, click your way over to benvabu.ca.
So these are the bagpipes, and to be more specific, the Great Highland bagpipes. There's a lot of different types of pipes in the world. Almost every region in Europe developed its own take on bagpipes. So these were what was developed in Scotland over centuries. One of the more recognizable pipes out there just because of their influence in the British Army. This is what you'll have seen in parades or at funerals and weddings. They're quite popular. And I'll give you a little overview of how they work. Basically, you have a blowpipe that you blow into with a one-way valve at the end. So you fill up this bag as a reservoir, and then you force the air out with this elbow. And your whole aim is to keep the stream as constant as possible and the pressure as constant as possible. When you're forcing the air out, you force them out through the other pipes. These pipes that are on my shoulder are called drones, and they just produce that one long monotone note that you hear throughout the melody. And the longer one is a bass drone, so that'll produce a B flat in this case for this instrument. And then the tenor drones will produce the same note, but an octave higher. Then the melody comes out of this pipe called the chanter. And there's a number of holes on there. And inside the casing here is what we call the reed. And it's a double-bladed cane reed, much the same as an oboe reed. It has two tongues of cane. As the air passes through it, it vibrates and produces sound. And like any other woodwind, there's a bunch of holes on it, and the longer the sound has to travel down the pipe, the deeper the note, the lower the note is. So there's 9 notes in the pipe scale, so it's a little limited in that sense, and it's also limited as an instrument because there's only one volume, fairly loud, and you can't get louder, you can't get quieter, it's just one volume all the time. So to introduce dynamics into the music, we use a lot of gracing and ornamentation, and also to separate notes because you can't stop the melody. Once you're started, it's always playing melody. So to separate the notes, you use a lot of those gracings, and that gracing and ornamentation is something that really identifies pipe music. And that ornamentation, you still see it in the fiddle music and the music we know around here and in Scotland. It's informed a lot of the stylings that we use and the ornamentation that we use on the fiddle or any instrument.
Roz.
And I'm Jen of Super Duper Soup. It began about 5 years ago. It started when one friend asked me to make a bowl of soup. We were both laid off. And the next week, more friends asked for more soup. And the next thing we know,
Bing bang boom, we're working out of the Boys and Girls Club kitchen once a week doing deliveries. Did a trade show and it just went crazy from there. So we were like, we need to find our own space.
we're a small business. And when you start a small business, not really ever having been in this industry before, we had no idea what was involved.
You don't know what you don't know. Dealing with the East Coast Credit Union, it's just been so easy.
They're more than a bank. It's not every bank that knows your name. It's not every bank that comes and helps and brings you products that you didn't even know existed.
Yeah, they know more than just our business. They know us and they know what we need. They're just a part of our team and they're there to help you. They want you to succeed.
They have a small business program and they get what small business is in Nova Scotia. Community means everything.
We feel very supported by not only the East Coast Credit Union, but our community in downtown Dartmouth as well. Building the relationship with East Coast Credit Union, I just know that going forward, they'll still be there for us. They'll continue to support us, not only as customers, but bringing us new products that will help us grow and continue to survive.